Women often portray themselves as having everything under control, effortlessly exuding confidence and independence. They present an image of strength, seeming completely unaffected by men and their influence. However, beneath that composed exterior lies a truth that most people, especially men, fail to understand. Every woman, regardless of how powerful or self-assured she may appear, harbors hidden vulnerabilities that can completely unravel when she encounters the right man. These aren't the typical weaknesses you hear about in mainstream dating advice, things like looks, money, or status. No, these weaknesses go deeper. They are psychological triggers that can break down a woman's defenses in an instant. The reality is that most men are oblivious to these triggers. They remain unaware that attraction isn't solely based on surface level factors. It's not just about physical appearance, financial wealth, or social standing. True attraction is rooted in psychology, in understanding the subtle mental and emotional dynamics that operate beneath the surface. Once you discover how to tap into these hidden elements, you don't just become a man women desire. You become someone they feel they can't live without. It's not about simply being charming or appealing in a conventional way. It's about learning to navigate the deeper, often subconscious desires that women have. When you know how to push the right emotional buttons at the right time, you can create a magnetic connection that draws her in, making her not just want you, but need you in a way that's far beyond superficial attraction. Understanding these dynamics is the key to unlocking a woman's deepest desires and creating a bond that's truly irresistible. Before we break down further, the clock's ticking, 7 days until this course is shut down for good. Only 50 spots left. Do you really think you have time to wait? Every second you hesitate, someone else is making moves, taking what could have been yours. That girl you're eyeing, she's not sticking around for you to get your act together. While you sit there, doing nothing, someone else is out there showing her what she needs. You've got two options: stay stuck where you are, or unlock the secrets that will change everything for you. Number 1. The irresistible power of a man's touch. There's a profound reason why a woman might resist a man's words yet completely crumble under his touch. Attraction isn't just a mental or emotional game, it's deeply biological, hardwired into the very core of a woman's being. No matter how strong, independent, or self-sufficient she may seem on the outside, the moment a man knows how to use his touch effectively, she loses control in ways that are both subtle and undeniable. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships revealed that physical touch has the power to significantly elevate oxytocin levels in women, the hormone most closely associated with bonding, trust, comfort, and most importantly, desire. This chemical reaction is immediate and powerful, and it's the reason why a woman might be skeptical or unsure about a man, but the moment he touches her lightly on her lower back as he guides her through a doorway, her entire perception shifts. It's primal, instinctive, and often overlooked by most men. This type of touch bypasses the logical, rational thinking that a woman might try to rely on to keep her composure. Despite her best efforts to convince herself she's not interested, a strategically placed hand on her wrist, a gentle touch on the small of her back, or even the slightest brush of his fingers against her knee creates an emotional response she simply cannot ignore. That touch stirs something deep within her, building an undeniable tension between them, an attraction that becomes magnetic. The key, however, isn't constant touch. It's in how deliberate, controlled, and unpredictable the touch is. When a man knows how to tease a woman's senses, creating moments of brief, tantalizing contact, she finds herself craving more of his presence. It's not about overwhelming her, it's about pulling her in, piece by piece, in a way that triggers subconscious attraction. A man who understands how to use touch properly makes a woman begin to associate his proximity with feelings of strength, security, and dominance. Think about the classic bad boy stereotype for a moment. He doesn't simply sit across from her at dinner, saying all the right things. Instead, he casually touches her hand when making a point, leaning in just slightly as he speaks, or effortlessly brushing a strand of hair away from her face, as if it's second nature to him. It's not just his words that captivate her now, it's his touch. Suddenly, she isn't just hearing what he says, she's feeling him in every sense. Even the most independent woman who prides herself on being in control can find herself unwinding and becoming vulnerable when a man knows exactly how to use his touch to affect her. A woman might insist she's not interested or that she's in full control of her emotions, but in reality, with the right touch at the right time, she's already melting. And that, gentlemen, is the quiet power of a man's touch, an irresistible force that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. Number 2. The forbidden effect. If there's one undeniable truth about attraction, it's this. Women are drawn to what they can't have. It's an instinctive part of human nature. The more elusive something is, the more we desire it. This fundamental principle plays a powerful role in the dynamic between men and women. A woman might ignore the man who showers her with endless attention, only to become more obsessed with the one who keeps her guessing. She might suddenly find herself wanting a man more intensely after another woman shows interest in him, or she becomes captivated by the one who feels just out of reach. This push-pull dynamic is at the heart of the forbidden effect, and it's a force that most men fail to fully understand. Psychologist Robert Cialdini refers to this concept as the scarcity principle. According to this principle, the more unavailable something or someone is, the more we crave it. This phenomenon is especially powerful in the realm of attraction. If a man is constantly available, she may begin to take him for granted. His presence becomes predictable, and she starts to lose interest. On the other hand, when a man is just unpredictable enough, when he isn't always within arm's reach, when he keeps a bit of mystery about him, she finds herself constantly thinking about him, craving his attention, and longing to earn his approval. This unpredictability creates a sense of tension and excitement, a dynamic where the woman feels she might lose him if she doesn't act. It ignites something within her, a desire to fight for his attention, to keep him in her orbit. Men who are always chasing women, who make themselves overly available, signal that they have nothing else going on in their lives. They become an open book, predictable, and often seen as lacking other options. But a man who has a full, vibrant life, who is selective with his time and energy, commands respect. He's a man who isn't desperate for validation, and women instinctively feel the difference. In relationships, this selective availability shifts the power dynamics. When a man treats a woman like she's just another option, rather than something rare and valuable, she will work that much harder to prove her worth to him. Women don't like to feel like they can be taken for granted. If a man makes it clear that he's not afraid to walk away when necessary, she suddenly starts to value him more. She begins to view him through a different lens, as someone who has his own life, his own desires, and his own boundaries. It shifts the power back into his hands. The simple act of walking away, of showing that his own life is fulfilling and that he won't settle for anything less than what he deserves, makes him more attractive in her eyes. The mystery of whether he will stay or leave keeps her emotionally engaged and invested, and this, in turn, builds a level of attraction that is grounded in genuine desire, rather than one rooted in routine or convenience. Number 3. Why drama keeps her hooked. Most men believe that women crave stability, peace, and predictability in a relationship. While this may be true in the long run, there's something more powerful that excites a woman in the moment, emotional highs and lows. A woman who feels too comfortable in a relationship, one that lacks variation or spark, can quickly become bored. When boredom sets in, it creates a void that she will subconsciously try to fill with something or someone else. It's in those moments of emotional stagnation that her mind starts to wander. However, the men who truly understand the art of emotional contrast never face this problem. Psychologists have long studied the effects of emotional fluctuations on the human brain, and they found that dopamine, the feel-good hormone, is released in larger quantities when emotions swing between highs and lows. In simpler terms, it's the unpredictability of emotional experiences that make them so addictive. The rush that comes from emotional variation isn't just about the drama itself. It's about how it keeps her heart racing and her mind guessing. This is why women often get hooked on men who are unpredictable. They might not admit it openly, but the thrill of uncertainty, of not knowing what will happen next, excites them far more than the security of routine. When a man becomes too predictable, when she knows exactly what he's going to say or do next, she starts to pull away. The spark fades, and she loses interest. But when he keeps her on her toes, when he creates an emotional roller coaster of highs and lows, she can't help but become emotionally addicted to him. Think about the relationships that tend to captivate women the most. The guy who disappears for a day or two and then reappears as if nothing happened. The guy who can make her laugh one moment and challenge her the next. The guy who isn't easy to read, who doesn't always reveal his every thought or emotion. These men aren't playing mind games or manipulating her. They simply understand a fundamental truth. Comfort kills attraction. As renowned seduction expert Robert Greene wisely put it, absence and presence must be carefully balanced. If a man is around too much, if his presence becomes constant and predictable, he loses his allure. On the other hand, if he's absent for too long, if he's never present enough to spark any emotional response, he becomes irrelevant. The key to maintaining a woman's emotional engagement lies in balancing that dance between presence and absence. Attraction is, above all, emotional, not logical. A woman's emotions dictate her desires and her level of attraction far more than her rational mind ever will. The man who can create excitement, keep her guessing, and introduce that sweet uncertainty into the mix will always have her attention. When you understand how to control emotional contrast, you'll find that a woman becomes captivated by you, not because of what you do, but because of how you make her feel. Number 4. How a man's tone controls her mind. A woman's ears are just as sensitive as her skin, and the power of a man's voice extends far beyond just the words he speaks. Every subtle nuance, the depth of his tone, the pacing of his speech, the pauses between his sentences, works on her subconscious in ways she can't always articulate. It's not just about what is being said, but how it's being said. A deep, slow, and controlled voice doesn't just captivate her attention, it commands it. It signals strength, dominance, confidence, and power, creating an immediate instinctual reaction within her. This is no mere theory, there's science behind it. In fact, a study from the University of Aberdeen found that women are more attracted to men with lower-pitched voices, as they instinctively associate such voices with higher levels of confidence, authority, and even strong genetic qualities. This lower pitch triggers a primal response, signaling strength and reliability. But the magic isn't just in the pitch, it's in the rhythm. A man who speaks too quickly conveys anxiety or nervousness, creating a sense of insecurity. A man who speaks too slowly comes off as unsure or hesitant, lacking decisiveness. But when he speaks with a steady, controlled rhythm, when every word is deliberate and timed, it pulls her in. Imagine a scene from a movie where a man is seducing a woman. He doesn't rush through his words or stumble over his sentences. He speaks with intention, each phrase purposeful, as if he knows exactly how it will impact her. This careful precision with which he delivers his words draws her deeper into the conversation. It's that ability to command attention with the sound of his voice that keeps her hooked, yearning for more. But here's where the real power lies. It's not just about sounding smooth or charismatic. The true secret of attraction through tone lies in knowing when to be silent. Silence can speak louder than words. A well-timed pause before answering a question or making a statement builds anticipation, making her mind race, hanging on to every potential word that might follow. That pause, that moment of stillness, causes her to lean in, both literally and figuratively. The tension that builds in that silence creates a deeper connection and heightens attraction. In that quiet anticipation, the man controls her mind, not through the flurry of words, but through their rhythm, their intent, and the power of his silence. So, the next time you speak, remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Mastering the art of tone and timing is a tool that can hold a woman's attention, stir her emotions, and create an irresistible connection. It's in the rhythm of your voice, the pauses you make, and the silence you command that the true power of attraction lies. Number 5. The hidden effect of jealousy. Attraction for women isn't simply about the connection or chemistry with a man, it's intricately tied to an underlying sense of competition. It's part of female psychology. A woman can genuinely like a man, feel a spark of attraction, and enjoy his company, but the moment she sees other women showing interest in him, that's when her desire for him skyrockets. Suddenly, the stakes feel higher, and her emotions shift into overdrive. This is a core instinct in women, the drive to compete for a man who represents high value, and the reality is that high-value men are always in demand. This is why powerful men, celebrities, successful entrepreneurs, athletes, never seem to struggle with attracting women. They don't just have one woman vying for their attention, they have many. And it's not because they're actively seeking validation or intentionally trying to make women compete for their attention. It's because their social proof, the attention they receive from others, signals to every woman around them that this man is desirable and worthy of her pursuit. This inherent value makes him irresistible. On the flip side, a man who focuses solely on one woman might think he's showing loyalty and commitment. He might feel proud of how much attention he's giving her. However, in her mind, this signals that he has no other options, which translates into a lack of value. No options mean no desire. A man who is constantly available, who puts all his emotional focus into one woman, might unintentionally come off as desperate or lacking in self-worth. In contrast, a man who is admired by other women automatically raises his stock. This isn't about playing manipulative games or being deceitful. It's about understanding a woman's psychology and using it to your advantage, authentically. Women don't just want a man who is amazing by their standards. They want a man who is wanted by other women, who is desired by the people around him. It's an instinctual response. They want to secure someone that others value. If a woman feels like you're the only one chasing her, she may start to feel secure, even to the point where she believes she holds all the power. But the moment she perceives that she could lose you to someone else, that's when her competitive drive kicks in. Her desire deepens as she starts to fight to keep you. Suddenly she shifts from passive to active. She chases you. The key here is to subtly show your value and desirability without boasting or coming off as desperate. You don't need to flaunt your attention from other women. It's not about intentionally trying to provoke jealousy. It's about creating a reality where your value is evident and other women naturally find you attractive. When you give the impression that you're in demand, without needing to overtly say it or act on it, you'll hold the upper hand. The moment a woman feels the slightest inkling that she might lose your attention to someone else, her desire for you intensifies. By maintaining a balance of attention, demonstrating your worth through action, and keeping a bit of mystery, you'll constantly keep her on her toes, eager to stay in your orbit. The secret isn't to make her jealous, but to create an environment where her emotional investment in you is so strong, she cannot bear to let you slip away. Number 6. The sweet spot of tension. A common mistake that many men make is rushing things. They get overly excited, eager to lock things down too soon, and end up confessing their feelings before the attraction has fully developed. They push for commitment too early, desperate to secure the connection, and in doing so, they remove all the mystery that builds real intrigue. The reality is, nothing kills a woman's desire faster than a man who makes everything too easy. Think about it in terms of a movie. What makes a film truly thrilling? It's the build-up, the slow development, the tension that keeps you at the edge of your seat, waiting to see what happens next. Women crave this same type of build-up in attraction. They don't just want instant gratification. They need time to wonder, to question, to doubt herself and her feelings. It's this uncertainty, this waiting game that keeps her emotionally invested and curious. The moment a man removes that element of mystery and rushes in with too much certainty, too soon, she starts losing interest. The chase, the uncertainty, is what keeps the attraction alive. This is where men who know how to flirt, tease, and hold back just enough become irresistible. They don't give everything away at once. They create a sense of challenge and allow the woman to feel as though she is earning his attention rather than simply receiving it at her beck and call. This makes the dynamic far more exciting and keeps her emotionally engaged. She feels like she has to work for it, and that's what creates genuine attraction. When a man takes his time, whether it's in conversation, through physical touch, or by controlling the pace of the relationship, he activates one of a woman's deepest emotional triggers, the craving for something she can't fully have. It's not just about playing games, it's about understanding the emotional dynamics of attraction. Women get addicted to the feeling of wanting more, and they stay hooked on the challenge. The key to lasting attraction is the sweet spot of tension, a delicate balance between presence and absence, certainty and uncertainty. When a man allows a relationship to unfold slowly, when he doesn't rush things but instead gives the woman time to wonder, question, and desire him, he taps into her deepest instincts. It's this feeling of not quite having him fully that creates a magnetic pull, one that keeps her coming back again and again. Number 7. The fantasy effect. Attraction isn't just about looks, money, or even status. It's about the story a man creates in a woman's mind. Women don't simply fall for men, they fall for the way those men make them feel when they're not around. They become obsessed not just because of a man's appearance, but because of the emotions and fantasies he ignites. The reason women get fixated on certain men isn't because of tangible things like power or wealth. It's because those men spark her imagination. They create a sense of mystery that leaves her wanting more. Think about why women go crazy over celebrities. It's not because they know them personally or understand their daily lives. No, it's because celebrities offer an illusion, a carefully crafted mystery that makes them more intriguing. And here's the truth. A regular man can trigger the same effect if he understands one simple but powerful rule. Don't give her everything too soon. Most men make the mistake of over-explaining themselves. They answer every question directly, lay out all their thoughts, and leave no room for curiosity. They believe transparency builds attraction, but here's the truth. Women often won't tell you. They're wired to chase what they don't fully understand. The more a woman can fill in the gaps of a man's story, the more her mind becomes entangled in the mystery he presents. It's that playfulness and strategic withholding of information that gets her hooked. A man who is just a little elusive, who leaves some questions unanswered, and who doesn't let her figure him out immediately becomes the man she can't stop thinking about. She finds herself drawn to him not because of what he says, but because of what he leaves unsaid. This gap, this mystery, is where the real magic happens. The true power of attraction lies not in the things you tell her, but in the space you create for her to wonder. When you make her imagination work for it, when you keep her mind wandering long after you've parted ways, you become a man she can't forget. It's the fantasy that lingers long after the encounter, the one that keeps her coming back for more. That's the true allure. To make her imagine a world where you're always a little out of reach, always just beyond her grasp. Number 8. The authority effect. Women may say they want an equal partner in a relationship, but deep down, their biology craves a leader, not a dictator. It's not about controlling every move or being domineering. It's about being a man who exudes confidence and decisiveness. When it comes to attraction, it's not just about emotions, it's about primal instincts. Women are wired to be drawn to men who lead with authority. Think about it. Why do women fantasize about dominant men? Why do they subtly test men with small challenges, probing to see if they'll crack under pressure? It's because deep down, they need to know a man is capable of stepping up and making decisions without hesitation. And here's the flip side. The moment a man starts seeking her approval for every little thing, her attraction begins to fade. A strong, confident man doesn't waste time asking, "What do you want to do?" every 5 minutes. Instead, he takes charge, leading the way with a clear direction. He's decisive, certain, and knows exactly when to act. That certainty, that power, is something that women are instinctively drawn to. They respect and are turned on by a man who isn't afraid to take the reins. On the other hand, men who constantly second-guess themselves, seek validation, or allow women to dictate every decision may appear nice, but they don't trigger deep, lasting attraction. In fact, the moment a woman senses doubt or hesitation in a man, she starts to pull away. But the man who leads with unwavering confidence, He commands her respect and trust, and more importantly, he becomes the man she craves. It's not about being controlling, it's about being the type of man who can take charge when necessary, the man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it. Women are hardwired to follow a strong leader, and once a man embodies that leadership, he becomes the one she desires most. Number 9. The emotional drug. A woman might say she wants a nice, stable, drama-free relationship, but the truth? Stability alone isn't enough to keep her captivated. If a man doesn't make her feel something intense, something that excites, challenges, or even frustrates her, she won't stick around for long. Women don't fall for men because they logically choose them. They fall because those men make them feel a whirlwind of emotions. Emotions like excitement, jealousy, surprise, and even a little uncertainty are what keep her coming back for more. It's the emotional roller coaster that creates a bond that's almost addictive. Think of it like this. Just as people get hooked on thrill-seeking activities like roller coasters or gambling, women get hooked on men who make them feel a rush of emotions. The man who plays it too safe, who's predictable, who doesn't stir any real feelings. While she might appreciate his reliability, he won't stir the deep attraction that keeps her hooked. It's the guy who teases her just enough, who pulls away occasionally to create that bit of uncertainty. It's the man who keeps her on her toes, challenging her assumptions, surprising her with unexpected moves. That's the man who keeps her wanting more. The rush of emotions he creates makes her think about him long after he's gone. A woman's heart follows where her emotions lead, and when a man understands how to keep her emotionally engaged, he will always have her attention. The thrill, the highs and lows, the push and pull, that's what creates the emotional connection that makes her crave him. When a man knows how to be emotionally stimulating, he becomes an irresistible force in her life, the kind of man she can't stop thinking about. Number 10. The submissive trigger. Despite the independence that modern women often express, there is an undeniable truth buried deep in their psychology. Most women still crave a man who makes them feel protected, secure, and even taken care of in a way that allows them to embrace their full femininity. This isn't about control or possessiveness. It's about a primal psychological need for dominance and safety. Women want to feel that they belong to someone who has the strength and confidence to lead them, yet does so with respect and care. At the core of this need is the desire to surrender, to be able to let go of the weight of the world and trust that the man by her side is capable of handling everything that comes their way. A woman loves to feel feminine, but she can only fully embrace that side of herself when she is with a man who is strong enough to make her feel safe in surrendering. When he exudes power, not just through his actions, but through his body language, his tone, his mindset, she naturally lets down her guard. This sense of security allows her to relinquish control, to trust, and in doing so, she discovers a deep magnetic attraction. A weak or uncertain man can never trigger this kind of response. If he comes across as unsure, insecure, or overly apologetic, a woman will find it difficult to step into her softer, more submissive side. The connection simply won't happen. But the man who is comfortable in his own power, who knows his worth, and who can assert himself with confidence without being domineering or overbearing, becomes the man who draws her in effortlessly. And here's the fascinating part. She won't even understand why she feels this way. She might not be able to pinpoint the exact reason, but she'll feel it instinctively. It's a deeply rooted psychological trigger that activates when a man is strong, assertive, and consistent. In his presence, she can melt into her feminine energy, feeling safe and secure, knowing that he is the protector and leader she subconsciously longs for. That magnetic pull is real, and it's powerful. If you found this insight valuable, make sure to subscribe to The Girl's Mind for more wisdom on mastering your life and attraction. Until next time, stay strong, stay centered, and always remember, the key to attraction isn't in chasing, it's in being. But for those of you who are serious about stepping up and taking control, I've created a one-on-one chat with me. Choose your package and let's solve any problem you're facing, whether it's crushing your goals or handling that conversation with a girl.